Good evening. Hope you have had a great day. And I want to share the mind shift from an employee to an entrepreneur. It is normally a journey of 1,000 steps that starts with the first step. Some prominent author wrote and said, entrepreneurs don't finish when they are tired. We finish when we are done. As an employee, you may decide, I'm tired, I want to go home. Entrepreneurs will do it to the very end. And a study that was carried out showed that 87% of employees who are getting into entrepreneurship or self employment were struggling in the transition because the mindsets are totally different. For an employee, you could be an 8 to 5 kind of routine and life. But the moment you leave employment and your job, you may think you are escaping the 8 to 5 routine, but you find you have to invest even more time and irregular time to be able to manage entrepreneurship. Of course, quitting your job may be half the battle. You need to prepare now in the mindset of an entrepreneur. Besides your finances, to ensure they are in order, you also require to have a plan. You need to prepare your mind and to an extent, even the people around you. Being an entrepreneur is very different from being an employee because you find the mindset are totally different. Being an entrepreneur also means you must be completely ready for the realities of working more time and the realities of working without a program. I remember recently I met a high school teacher in Kenya who had just taken early retirement package. I think he's about 55, 56, so he still had a couple of years to go. He is running a restaurant somewhere within the country, and he also has some real estate where he is renting out. And he told me sometimes he's finding he has so much time in his hands now because he's no longer in full-time employment. When he was a teacher and he's a high school teacher, probably he'll get to the workplace at 7 in the morning. The earliest he would leave because of marking and maybe some extra lessons is around 8 or 7:30. Now he told me he normally drives about 30, 40 kilometers, finds a good place, especially when he feels as if he is being overwhelmed by a lot of thinking. He just finds a very good place. He sits down with his paper and pen and start thinking. By the way, a psychologist said that every four people around you, only one is thinking. Look around where you are. Do you have four people around you in that room? Four people around you in that vehicle? Only one is thinking. The rest of us uses the knowledge and the skills and the ideas of the one who is thinking out of every four people. So he tells me thinking is very hard. He tells me he goes there, thinks with his pen, writes down, then maybe comes back later in the afternoon to check how they are doing in the hotel. He has so much time in his hands. So one of the mindset shift from an employee to an entrepreneur, you must train your mind to think out of the box. Once you leave that 8 to 5 job or 9 to 7 job, you are no longer confined to a corporate life. It means you must open your mind for possibilities, any form of possibilities. Any kind of people will always try to stop you doing the right thing if it is unconventional. But by the way, where you make an impact is when you become unconventional, thinking out of the box, thinking about the necessity of the box. You even think you don't require the box. You need to be creative in your business. You need to bring something new every now and then, different. One of the things I do now is ensure I post something to encourage you in this journey as I encourage myself. So I must bring something to myself new daily. The second mindset shift that you need to incorporate and embrace, develop both short-term and long-term vision. When I was trying to transition into entrepreneurship, which I'm still on the journey, I approached one of my mentors who told me, create a 10-year plan. I was telling him, how do I create a 10-year plan and I don't even have a job? I don't. He told me, think without the money. In fact, there was a job I was waiting. I had gone for interviews and I was very, very confident I'm going to get that particular job. He told me, Joe, assume you do not have that job. That was radical thinking. For me, I was used to have a job. So come up with both short-term and long-term vision. This is a new type of thinking that is essential for you to survive. Yeah, very essential for you to survive in the kind of markets we are in. Very, very essential. Because if you do not, then you'll have a lot of issues. Remember, you are walking through a kind of life that requires new thinking and new ways of doing things. So that requires you to think out of, long term and short term. You must have a vision for your company. You must have an idea where you are going. The third mind shift is let it fall on your shoulders. Being an entrepreneur is scary. Your success is now completely dependent on the work that you do. And you are no longer dependent on any salary. You are no longer an employee. So you have to learn to be on your own. Learn to be on your own. Because at the end of the day, it is what you do that is going to be determining where you are going. So ensure you know and you appreciate that you are on your own now. You must rely on yourself. The fourth mind shift that you require is to be ready to become a jack of all trades. I had a colleague of mine who told me he used to do accounting. You are also the receptionist. You are also many things. You do virtually everything. You are the supplies guy. You are the production person. So as you start, you must learn to put on different hats and learn constantly new skills. Remember, entrepreneurs don't finish when we are tired. Entrepreneurs finish when we are done. Last bonus point, be flexible, focused, and positive. Attitude is everything in business. You can't let challenges get in your way. Your dream. Entrepreneurs need to be optimistic, stay focused on their goals, and be passionate. Have the drive. Steve Jobs once said in an interview, unless you have a lot of passion about this you are doing, you are not going to survive. You are going to give up. So you have got to have an idea or a problem or a wrong that you want to write up. So you have got to have an idea or a problem you want to write up, and you must be passionate about it. Otherwise, you are not going to have the perseverance to stick through it. I think that is half the battle right there. Passion is important. And as you progress in your business, I wish you the very best.